to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to an inner child hypnosis session all about worthiness. And it was actually created for a client that grew up in a household where nothing was ever good enough. And if they wanted love, affection, or approval, they had to earn it. And that meant for them being academically smart. But it had a twist, and that is that although love was conditional in their childhood, their mother was also very jealous. So if they got too good, then their mother would feel insecure, and that would also lead to problems. So it's this damned if you do, damned if you don't, or to use a metaphor between a rock and a hard place, that whatever you do seems to end badly. And the natural reaction to that in adulthood can be procrastination or a feeling of, unless you can be perfect in that thing, why bother? So if you can relate to that idea of crippling procrastination or this perfectionism trap that you don't even want to try unless you're pretty sure that you're going to be excellent at that thing, I think you might get some value from this session. Now, where the inner child element comes in, as I said to this client before the session started, when did you hear, kind of, let's say, approval from your mother or encouragement about your passions? And she just never did. So that's why she, in this session, gets to take the position of a mother figure to her younger self and actually be attentive without needing to earn it, to give approval without it being conditional, to be interested in the desires and ambitions and dreams of the younger version of herself. And it's inner child work because what tends to happen is most of the problems or issues in adulthood are formed in childhood. So when you use disassociated regression and this form of inner child work, then it can actually be very powerful, because if you can resolve the issues in childhood, that can ripple through space and time all the way up to the present and actually make them feel that they are worthy and they are good enough. So if you can relate to any of these themes or issues, you may get some real value from this session. Please be aware it was created for a specific client. Some of the issues and suggestions may have been perfect for the client and not quite right for you. So disregard anything that isn't quite right. And if you do like the idea of having a bespoke session entirely customized and calibrated to you, then check out my website, which is adamcox.co.uk, or in fact, the description, the show notes of this episode, and there'll be lots of links and resources that will show you how you can work with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, give permission to release all of that pressure, expectation, all of that tension that comes from having to do so much more. Breathing in relaxation, exhaling tension. Each breath allows you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. Each breath takes you to a deeper level of relaxation. And I want you to imagine what it would be like to release any tension around the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. Feel your arms limp, loose and heavy. That your eyelids were getting so heavy that if you were to focus on the back of your eyeballs, even if you tried to open your eyes, they would just feel heavier and heavier, and then release that sensation, feeling the relaxation drop down your face, down into your chest. That's it. And I want you to think back to a childhood home. I want you to think of a place that you were living when you were perhaps 3, 4, 5 years old. And I want you to think of where you used to sleep when you were just a child like that. And I wonder if you can use the power of your imagination to float back to that place. Imagine floating back at your current age, all the way back, like an invisible observer. And you can jump forwards and backwards in time. You might imagine yourself as 3 years old, and then 5, and then 10, and then back to 7. But I want you to observe what had to happen for you as a child to be worthy. Was that younger version of you able to feel worthy by being enthusiastic about something they were interested in? Or was that younger version of you required to earn it? I want you to observe what you were criticized for and what you were given approval for. Because those things, like criticism and approval, would be the very things that made certain beliefs form in that young mind of yours. And I want you to see a very capable, intelligent young child, but a very capable, intelligent young child very quickly will learn that there is a way to play a game, to study hard, to be smart, just enough to get the approval, but avoid doing certain things to make your mother jealous. And the more you observe this childhood from your current eyes looking backwards, the more it makes sense. The more it makes sense that this version of you had a very difficult game to win. This version of you was told to be perfect. But when you were perfect, you upsetted the person whose approval you wanted the most. I want you to imagine if you were playing a game, and no matter what you did in that game, no matter how much you practiced or learnt the rules, you could never win that game. Don't you think it would reach a point where you would simply stop playing that game? I want you to imagine there is a different game to play. A game based on your rules. I want you to imagine seeing yourself perhaps 3-4 years old, at a time when you would have been alone in a bedroom. And I want you to imagine seeing that younger version of you as you currently are at your age right now. And that younger version of you might be surprised or confused. Who is this person in their room? But I want you to tell them, you are them from the future. And of course, they might be suspicious or skeptical. So tell them a secret that only they know. And when you've proven to that younger version of you, maybe 3, 4, 5 years old, that you are them from the future, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to tell them how capable, how smart, how curious they are. I want you to tell them that they are loved, that they are important, that they are interesting. And just allow this child to change their age, depending on the words that you say. Sometimes older, sometimes younger. And if you tell them that they are so interesting, and they try and deflect, sit down with them and tell them why they are so interesting. I want you to ask them about their interests. Ask them what they want to be when they're older. And whatever they say, be delighted to hear it. Wow. That's amazing. Tell me what you know. Why would you like that? For a child to feel interesting, they need someone to be interested. And I want you to be not just interested. I want you to be fascinated, hanging on every word they have to say. When they tell you not just what they've done, but the things they like. Tell them how proud you are, not of their achievements, but of their character. You don't care the grade that they got. You care that they are dedicated, They love to learn. They're resilient. Praise them on their qualities, not their accomplishments. Make this child feel loved, not based on what they've done, but based on who they are. That's it. And you already know. You're not just healing this child. You are healing yourself from within. Because every time you give this child approval, love, and validation without them needing to earn it, they are building the belief that they are worthy, not based on what they do, but based on who they are. The same standard you have for your friends, you're now holding to yourself, perhaps for the first time. And feel that change ripple from the past all the way to the present. And I want you to ask this child if there's anyone that gets jealous or feels bad if they are too good at something, and just hear what they say. And just tell them every individual has gifts, talents, and capabilities that if you shine brightly, it doesn't dim the light of anyone else. In fact, by you shining brightly, you will inspire others to shine even brighter. That if someone gets upset because you're too good, that is an issue for them, not an issue for you. Because if you hold yourself back just because someone else may feel insecure, you are rewarding and enabling their insecurities. The world doesn't hold back because of how you may feel. The most talented people in the world are talented irrespective of what you do. And the same is true the other way round. And then speak to this child and say, what has to happen for you to want to try something new? And allow the child to change to the age where they feel that it has to be done perfectly, or why bother? And you can get curious and ask why it has to be done perfectly. You may be surprised by the answer. But I want you to tell that child that perfection is an illusion. Excellence can be strived for. Progress is powerful. Perfection is a mirage. When you pursue perfection, the moment you get close, perfection gets further away. Perfection is simply frustration, pretending to be high standards. And because this child is smart, just wait for that moment where they get it. Perfection is not honorable, not desirable. Perfection is a curse that paralyzes. progress and passion, enthusiasm and interest. That's how people get good. The best in the world at anything had an enthusiasm for that thing, but they were never perfect. They did it with a free spirit, a light heart. They put joy and dedication into that thing, and over time, they got better and better. And to the outside world, it looked perfect, but never was. I want you to see a child that now feels worthy without needing to earn it, is comfortable being excellent even if others are jealous or insecure about that. And I want you to see a child free of the shackles of perfectionism. Instead, a desire to enjoy learning, growing, experiencing, not to earn approval, not to be good enough, but simply because that's what living is. And I want you to imagine what it would be like to hug that child and feel all of those changes in the child ripple through space and time all the way up to your present. Because this child is you. And I want you to imagine going forwards in time now, seeing yourself in your present, and seeing that that version of you does not need to earn approval, be worthy of a compliment. I want you to see a version of you that stops holding back just in case other people feel bad. I want that version of you in your present and your future to seek out things that it's impossible to be perfect at. Seeking out things that just give you joy, that kindle passion, interest, curiosity, and see how you handle things over the next few days and weeks. Don't be surprised if you rehearse, not to meet a standard, but just because it makes you feel good. Don't be surprised if you see yourself doing the things you've been putting off, because now they're not contaminated with all the emotional baggage of the past. And every time you do the kind of things that you were avoiding, it's like giving a gift to that little girl that needed to know that she was worthy. And as you hold that thought, just imagine that smiling child within you and feel lighter, more capable, that you're willing to hold yourself to the same standard that you've been holding others, that their worthiness is not based on what they do, it's based on who they are. And if your unconscious agrees, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And just wait a moment and feel the shift within. It might be a sensation, your chest, your gut. It might be a lightness, a change. Sometimes there's a physical sensation that comes with recalibration. And any echoes of the past, of those old belief systems, are now opportunities to remind them. Your worthiness is not based on what you accomplish. Other people's jealousy is not your problem. And perfectionism is a trap. Progress is what makes you feel good. It's time to leave the future and leave the past and return to the here and now, taking all of these changes with you. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.